In a different video, I showed you how to export your data from TikTok to have all of your people you're following in a single list on Google Sheets, where you can simply click on the link and find them to follow them on different platforms. So for example, we have YouTube, or I can select Instagram, and Instagram will open and I can follow the creator from there. That way you can keep track of all your different favorite creators without having to go through all the different manual clicks on TikTok. That's super annoying. Now in my other video, I showed you a step-by-step walkthrough, so make sure to go and check that out if you have not seen it already. But in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build what I built. So the first thing we're going to do is go to File, New Spreadsheet. And then we're going to have three tabs. The first tab, I'm going to name that Active Links. Second tab will be Import List. And the third tab will be Worksheet. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is in Import List. Just put Import List in column A. And now we're going to bring up all of the list of our following that we exported from TikTok. If you don't know how to do this, like I said, go check out my other video. But we're going to go ahead and copy everything. And instead of dragging down all the way, go ahead and hold down Command Shift and press down, or Control Shift and down, and it will select the entire text block at once. And we're going to select A2 and hit paste. Now right now it's a bit messy, and that's because it's in the date format, then we have username, then we have a blank. And really all we need is this username. So we're going to do a little bit of cleanup. So over here on Worksheet, in cell A1, I'm going to type simplified. And then we're going to type equals wrap rows. Go to import list and select A2 through the end of column A. And if it's blocked for you like it is for me, go ahead and just change that manually. Then we're going to put comma 3. And the reason why we're doing 3 is because there's 3 different rows that make up each one of the usernames. So once we go to our worksheet, you can see now we have the date, we have the username, and then we have a blank. And make sure that you don't accidentally write over the blank, because if you do, you'll get a reference error because it doesn't have enough room to execute. So you'll want to skip a step for this next part. In D1, we'll type in platform, then we'll type in root in E1. Now these are going to be the platforms that you're trying to look up, so we'll go to Instagram, and then YouTube. And then we need the root. So for the root, this is the part of the domain that is the same no matter what. So right here, if we click into this, anything before the username is going to be our root. So we'll paste that here. Then we'll do the same thing with YouTube. So I'll click right in front of the domain. In this case, it does include that @ symbol as well. And then we'll paste that right here. Cool. So on the active links, this is where the magic happens. First thing we're going to do is go to Insert, Dropdown. Select Dropdown from a range from the criteria. Click the 4 little boxes, then click into Select a Data Range. And then we're going to select D2 all the way through however far you want to go. I'm just going to put a D15 to give myself a room in case I want to add different platforms later. Once I press OK, I can add color if I want to, and hit Done. So now I can simply toggle between Instagram or YouTube. Just to the right of that, I'm going to put checked, and then select the entire column, go to Insert Checkbox, and now I can keep track of where I am in the process. I'm going to select A1 to B1 all the way down through the end of the column and go to Format, Alternating Colors, and just give it some color. That will make it look a little bit neater on the eyes, and then drag down the thick gray line just above 1. So now it's frozen so I can still see what the header is no matter where I'm at. All right, so for the formula, I'm going to go ahead and type out the formula and then explain it. So we're going to type out equals array formula, X lookup, select cell A1. We're going to press F4, so that way it adds the $ signs and anchors it in, so that way it's an absolute reference and will not move. Comma, then we'll go to Worksheet, select all of column D, and then we'll select all of column E. We'll put a comma, leave that blank, that way it's blank if it's a missing value, and then close that parentheses. Now we're going to put an ampersand. So what this part's doing is it's looking up YouTube or Instagram, and it's returning the root that is correlated with that value. For the ampersand, it acts as a join. So what we're going to do is we're going to extract the username from column B. So we'll type replace, open parentheses, go ahead and change this to B2 through the end of column B, comma 1, comma 10, comma, quote, quote, close parentheses, And once you press enter, you should see it looking exactly like this, where it has the root, and then it has the username directly after it. And you should be able to click into it. It should be a live link and bring you to where you want to go. Now, keep in mind, if they don't have a YouTube or an Instagram, it will show you an error message on the actual page itself. That doesn't mean it's broken. That just means that that page doesn't exist. So now we're really all set up. So just to explain everything, we have XLOOKUP formula. So the XLOOKUP is looking up YouTube, and it's looking it up from the platform and returning the root. On top of that, it's joining it with the replace formula. So I'll show you a real life replace formula. So we have the replace formula. We're going to replace that. And then the position that we want to start with. So I want to start with the position number 1, which is character number 1, which is the U. Put a comma, 10 characters. So the length is going to be 10 characters long. And that's the amount to cover the entire username. And then I'm going to put quote, quote, because I want the new text to be a blank for that position. So once I press enter, it changes all of these different texts before the username into a blank, and then leaves me with the username by itself. Now we have that XLOOKUP formula, so I'm going to go ahead and put an XLOOKUP. I'll say Instagram for the lookup key. Then I'll select column D for our lookup range. And then I'll put a comma and select column D for our results range, and press enter. So this is the result that we get from that XLOOKUP formula. Now if we simply reference the root, put an ampersand, and then the username, it looks exactly like this, and that's all we're doing with that formula that we just did. Now, the difference is we're wrapping it in an array formula. So what an array formula does is it implies the same exact formula throughout the entire username. So that way we don't have to select one and then drag the formula down to apply to every single username. It does it all at once throughout one formula. So you can see here, we only have the actual link itself as the result, but in this top formula in A2, we have the full formula. So we wrapped it in an array formula, and then we changed the worksheet to B2:B. That way it applies to the entire range. So that's it. That's all I did to build this template. And that way we can have live URLs based off of external data where you didn't have the live URL to begin with. Let me know if you have any questions, and like and comment for more.